The latest on the war in Ukraine and World News Tonight anchor David Muir's exclusive interview with President Volodymyr Zelenskyy amid critical developments in the conflict. The nuclear plant caught in the crossfire and Ukrainian forces ramping up their counteroffensive against the Russians. David is on the scene in Kyiv. Good morning to you, David.
Eva, good morning. We are at a crucial point in this war, and it was striking to spend several hours inside the presidential building here in Kyiv. The darkened hallways, and to be honest with you, the presidential building here looks and feels more like a bunker. Troops at every door outside, every turn inside. President Zelenskyy telling me he knows his life is in danger. He told me his family is still in hiding in Kyiv as well, his wife and 2 children. But we could see that he remains resilient. He's focused on trying to win this war, pushing Russia back. This morning here, the news coming in on this major counteroffensive now underway to try to take back territory from the Russians in the south. And in our interview, President Zelenskyy revealed to me it's not just in the south. There are operations elsewhere. He now says they have liberated 2 towns in the south and a settlement in the east. He also made news saying he is not willing to negotiate with the Russians after the atrocities here. He calls them terrorists. And this morning, the very real concern at the largest nuclear power plant in Europe, of course, right here in Ukraine. The Russians in control of it. And while we've been here, UN nuclear inspectors finally making it in, what they saw. And President Zelenskyy telling me the Russians have turned this plant into a nuclear weapon. Mr. President, thank you. I know as we sit here, there is a major Ukrainian counteroffensive underway. You have told the Ukrainian people that you will take back the territory seized by the Russians. Have you gained any ground yet?
It's a very difficult war, and it's a very difficult task. We will renew our territory. We cannot freeze this conflict now. The society is very decisive in what we need to, step by step, deoccupy our territory. This task is difficult, and it doesn't only depend on us, but I'm sure that is what will happen. It's only a matter of time.
Why Kherson? Why this counteroffensive now?
I won't say that it's only a counteroffensive in Kherson. There is a direction, or directions, plural, and we have to move forward.
Let me just be clear on that point. The counteroffensive that we're witnessing in Kherson right now is not the only counteroffensive underway in this country.
I can't discuss details of any military actions. I think that information silence is important, so I want that the enemy gets some surprises from us.
And as the Ukrainians try to push back the Russians, President Zelenskyy warns Vladimir Putin has weaponized the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant.
You see, they occupied our nuclear station, 6 blocks, the biggest in the Europe. It means 6 Chernobyls. It means the biggest danger in the Europe. So they occupied it. So that means that they use nuclear weapon. That is nuclear weapon.
You have been warning of nuclear catastrophe for quite some time. As we've been here, nuclear inspectors have finally made it to Zaporizhzhia through the war zone, the front lines. The lead inspector came out afterward and said, "I'm worried." And he warned the potential loss of power to cool those reactors could lead to a meltdown. How close are we to that?
You and us are already close to danger, because there are military people, military personnel at the territory nuclear power station. There shouldn't be any military personnel. There shouldn't be any military equipment on the territory. And there shouldn't be the workers of nuclear power plant who are surrounded by people with firearms.
And this morning, we know that some of those nuclear inspectors do remain inside that plant. But while we were here on the ground reporting this weekend, the main power line feeding the nuclear power plant went down. They had to turn to backup power. Real concerns over those nuclear reactors with Russian fighters there and the continued shelling, of course. Now, tonight on World News, we asked President Zelenskyy, is his life in danger? Do the Russians want him dead? And he was very clear about this. He said yes, and he told us what his intelligence reveals. And in a rare moment, he also talks about his wife and his 2 children, also in hiding here in Kyiv, how rarely he sees them. and how he explains this to his children. There is a lot more to come on this, Eva.
Looking forward to seeing your conversation, David. And you can see more of David's interview this evening on a special edition of World News Tonight from Kyiv.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.